Okay, so you are struggling with your calendar, your tasks, everything's jumbling around. And today I am going to show you how to solve all of that with step 4 of my goal achievement system. And if we've not met yet before, my name is Kenneth Kolash. I'm a third generation entrepreneur, pastor, author, bunch of other stuff. But most importantly, I am a certified business coach, excited to help you on this channel grow your business. We are going to conquer your calendar today. We are going to make sure that you are empowered to remember to show up to appointments, be prepared for them, remember tasks and to-dos, not just before your meeting, but after. We are going to help you organize everything with your Google Calendar. So let's dive right in. So first, I want to show you the Google Calendar that I have. Now, I'm going to walk through the entire setup of how you can organize your business, your personal life, and all of it together without having double bookings or missed appointments or no-shows. And most importantly, that it is automated in a way that you can actually succeed and grow your business without literally going crazy with your meetings, appointments, and to-dos. So let's jump right in with the weekly calendar. First, I love that this Google Calendar, it gives you the opportunity to view your days in multiple ways. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to come up to the week, day, month, year. I mean, heck, however you want to view this. And the beautiful part about this is it gives you multiple views depending on what exactly you're looking at. So for my wife and I, we love to do a monthly view when we're looking at like vacations and things more long-term out. There's also the year view. And this is once again for when I'm planning events, when I'm thinking about, okay, I've got to get on a flight in October and in May next year. I like to look at the year, be able to really quickly go to October or whenever the month is, click on the day, and then see what's actually on there for that day. Then, of course, I like to live in the weekly section where it goes from Monday to Monday for me. You can change that to Sunday for you if you'd like. And it gives me, again, a good view of what's going on throughout the rest of the remainder of the week. Now, as impressive as that is probably not the most exciting part about the Google Calendar, although it is amazing that you can view it in a variety of different ways. The other thing that I wanted to show you is this My Calendar section here. Now, you'll notice that I have literally, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 different calendars, not to mention the ones that I'm subscribed to down here. 6 different calendars that I have, and I want to show you why I have those. So for example, if I start clicking on some of these, you'll notice a bunch of things fill my calendar, appointments, and each one of these calendars represents something different. So for example, the Bethel Valparaiso is a church that we go to, and so different events that have to do with that, you'll notice pop on my calendar in black. And then if I were to click on my wife's calendar, a bunch of stuff for her pops up in a different color. So that way, again, it differentiates and takes into account exactly what the heck is going on in her calendar. I have for my coaching business as well. So you'll notice a bunch of appointments pop on there. And again, that continues to show up on my calendar. And then, of course, I have a production company, and so I have that down here as well as a calendar. And the beautiful part is I can literally create as many of these calendars as I need. And so every time I need a new calendar, I can come in here, for example, and I can click settings, and I can actually completely customize this calendar. I can share it with different people in terms of other people on my team or other people in my family. If they want to know exactly where I'm going to be at or we're coordinating a vacation, I can add a vacation calendar and add those people to the group. And then there's also access links, all the fun stuff, event notifications, other notifications. And anytime you're looking to create a new calendar, you can come up to this part right here, and you can either create a new calendar, which you would just name, put in the description, of course, the time zone, create the calendar, and then edit the settings from there. Or you can subscribe to a calendar, AKA if somebody in a different email address, AKA my wife, if she had created another calendar for her songwriting or any of the other type of women's ministry stuff that she does, she can create that calendar and I can actually subscribe to it where I can maybe edit depending on the permissions or just view it. So for example, one of my subscribed calendars is down here. I have my few different certification communities, and you will notice that pops up in a different color, and there's different events that happen in that community. So there's some office hours, there's a few different trainings and things like that. I happen to be a pastor and a Christian, so for me, sometimes I like to click on these things, especially when I'm interacting with people from other countries or people from other parts of other denominations within our faith. And so sometimes it's really neat to see on here what different part of the church calendar that we're on. Obviously, there are other things on here. For example, I can come down here and add other calendars, and I can browse calendars of interest. There are obviously other religious holiday calendars on here. There is, if you browse all, there is a ton of holidays just for different countries and things like that. So sometimes when we're traveling, especially when we were traveling in the dance business and we were going to Europe or we were going to a different country that we had not been yet, it was nice to actually check to make sure, were there any holidays happening on big days where things would be closed and things like that. So you could add the holidays for whatever place that you're traveling to in this section here. There's also some sports calendars. So if you're big into the MLB or the NBA, or you're big into American football and the NFL, hockey, there are calendars down here that actually automatically put in all the games and the things that you might want to tune into. There is a bunch on here, more than I can really go into in this one video, but that's how you view your calendar in multiple ways and how you actually add more calendars that you can custom fit to your specific schedule or the businesses that you run, and even subscribe to other family members or communities that you're a part of within this Google Calendar section. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is actually how to use this in a way that is super, super effective. And I'm going to show you how to create a calendar booking page that is custom to whatever you're specifically scheduling often. So for example, if it's coffee dates with your girlfriends, or if it's networking connections with people you've met on digital or in-person networking events, if it's training for your staff, whatever it is, you can come in here and actually go to the booking pages link. When you click on that, you're going to be able to name this. So for example, let's just say networking in person, and you can change the appointment duration to maybe you want 30 minutes, maybe you want 45 minutes, maybe you're a long-winded guy like me and it's an hour and a half, but either way, you can change that to whatever you need. And then you have the general availability section, and this is brilliant because you can have this repeat weekly. You can make this custom to, okay, it repeats every 2 weeks, AKA I only want my availability with this calendar to be 1 week a month, or during a specific time frame, like maybe you're running a promotion and you're specifically doing this type of booking event that you are doing in the fall or in the spring or during a 2 week time leading up to Mother's Day, whatever that it is. You can create and customize this calendar booking page to whatever you want. You can set the hours. So for example, I like to start my day around 10 a.m. in terms of taking appointments, and I tend to end around 6. You can copy that to the rest of the days and automatically it'll change. You can be unavailable that day. You can add that day back and actually add multiple periods within the same day. So if you're taking a lunch break, which how dare you, but let's say you're taking a lunch break. So from 9 to noon, you're available, and then you take an hour lunch break, and then from 1 to 6, you're available there. So Monday is custom fit to that day, and each day can be different. Maybe some days you start a little earlier and end a little earlier. Whatever that it is, you can completely customize your general availability for this bookable calendar. And then we come down, obviously you wanna make sure the time zone fits where you spend most of your time. So that way it's correlated with the time zone you're actually in most of the time. And then of course the scheduling window. This is something that a lot of people miss, but when you're sending somebody a booking link, you want them to, depending on the booking link and the purpose behind it, you want them to have a window that doesn't close so soon that they literally can't find a time to actually book with you. But you also don't want it to be so far out that both of you forget about it by the time the event actually shows up. So what I recommend doing is, of course, scheduling window. You want to make sure that you're available now. Maybe it's something for the future. So you have these start and end dates, like I said about the Mother's Day promotion, or maybe this is a December type of calendar and your availability is different in December than it is in other times. But either way, you want to make sure you select the right thing here. And then the maximum time in advance that you want the appointment to be booked. So for example, what is the farthest out that you want this person to potentially schedule whatever event that this is? So for me, I like to stick it somewhere within 4 weeks. So I'll keep that at 30 days. And then the minimum time before the appointment starts that it can be booked. And this is super, super important because for me, I don't necessarily like to have somebody book the same day, because sometimes as my day goes on and I notice it's a lighter day, I start working on other things. For some people, actually having this be something like 24 hours or 48 hours. So that way you have time to prepare for this new meeting that's been booked on your calendar. Or if this is more of a client facing thing and it's maybe virtual or you don't need a lot of preparation time and it's really something that is designed for you to actually see people more quickly. Maybe you're a hairstylist or maybe you do some type of unique business where you're able to be with a client super quick. And if you're available, you want to fill all your slots, then you can put this as low as literally 1 hour and they can book from right now, from an hour from now, and they're on your calendar. So whatever that is, like I said, I like to keep mine with 24 hours because I don't want anybody booking the same day, but I want them to have the opportunity to book sooner rather than later. So the adjusted availability include times you're available for specific dates. This is perfect for if you're closed on a specific holiday, or maybe you're on vacation and you normally are open those days, but these specific days you just so happen to be unavailable. This is where you can change a date's availability. You scroll to it, like let's say, for example, Thanksgiving. And let's say you're also closed Friday. So I would go to that Friday and instead I would mark this unavailable, even though you'll notice that normal availability was actually to be available. So it'll show up whatever your normal availability is based on your normal calendar settings. And from there, you change it, whether you're there open maybe later than normal, if it's after New Year's Eve, for example, or you're just completely closed that day and unavailable to be booked. This is where you can add as many dates as necessary, and you'll be able to track and record and actually edit those all year long from this adjusted availability. Super, super cool. And then of course you got the settings at the very bottom. So these are buffer time settings and maximum amount of appointments that you can have booked with this specific calendar in a single day. So for example, the buffer time, maybe you need 30 minutes between these appointments or between a previous appointment related or unrelated to this calendar and your actual scheduled appointment with the client or with your family member or whoever it is. The buffer time that you want between appointments, this is where you can set for either X number of minutes. If you're like me, I really do only need 30 minutes. But for some calendar appointments, I prefer to have a good hour, sometimes 2 hours after a meeting to follow up, to give me some time to work in between appointments like this, because maybe they're a little more intensive. Maybe you also consider that there's drive time with a specific calendar like this, if this were an in-person type of calendar, like I believe I've said that it is. And then the maximum bookings per day is how many times can this same event happen in a single day. For example, if this is a phone call type of calendar, then maybe you can see yourself doing 6, 8 different phone calls if they're only 15, 20 minutes in a single day. And so the maximum number of bookings you can actually limit to 6 or 8. Or maybe this is more of a long-term, very intensive 1-2 hour type of appointment. And maybe you really only want to see 2 types of events like this a day, and that's the maximum you want to be booked. If you don't want to limit and you just want to literally fill your calendar as much as possible, then you just uncheck this and it will be an unlimited booking, of course, within the boundaries of the time that you've set that you're actually available. And then the last thing is the guest permissions, where you can actually allow others to invite people to that same event. So for example, if this is a networking in-person type of meeting, then maybe the person you actually met is the one you send the calendar invite to, or they're the one that actually books the appointment, and you want them to be able to invite others and you not have to do all of the legwork yourself, then you can leave this checked. Or if you want this to be a private event that only you control who is invited to, then you just uncheck that and bada bing, bada boom, you are ready to go. The last section on here is the calendar section, and this is the section that you want the booking page to actually check with other calendars to make sure that you're not double booking yourself in comparison or in relation to other calendars that you're either subscribed to or that you've personally created and customized based on some of the things I talked about earlier in this video. So for example, you'll see that it says check calendars for availability. Booking times won't be available during any events created or accepted on the following calendar. So for example, the church stuff and my wife's stuff, I want it to check both of these. But with my business coaching, I don't necessarily need it to, or vice versa. I need it to check with my work calendar, my business coaching calendar, but I don't necessarily need it to take into account my wife's calendar because her calendar would not necessarily be a conflict to this specific booking page. Now, if you go to show all calendars, you'll notice that not only do my custom calendars come up, but also the ones that I'm subscribed to, those also show up as well. So if it's other communities, maybe I wanted to take into consideration, I might be on one of these other community events. So then I would mark that. So you can leave some of them blank. You can leave all of them checked, whatever works best for you. And if you don't care for it to check any other calendars to be available for double booking, then you can just uncheck this and it doesn't even come into account. And then when you're totally finished, you hit next. It takes us to some of the customization in terms of how this is actually going to show up for you and the person you're sending this booking page to. So for example, we've got the booking page photo and name, which you can actually edit in your Google account. So it's naturally going to attach to whatever Google account you are creating this booking page under. And then of course, location and conferencing, you're going to be able to select exactly how and where you want to meet. So for me, I do love to use Google Meet. So I normally use Google Meet if it's a virtual event, but you can also change this to making sure that it is an in-person meeting. You can add the location by looking it up on Google Maps. It will naturally select the location, put it into the booking page, and automatically be in there when they finish booking at the end of using this booking page. You can also change this to being a phone call or literally to just mark it none and to be decided upon later if you and the client or you and the family or you and whoever gets this booking page get to decide where exactly you want to meet, and you want that to be something that is set up later between the two of you. So for now, I'm just going to leave this at phone call, and the person that actually is making the appointment, they are going to provide the phone number to put in this. So that way, obviously you can call them when this is done. You can add a description that will show up every single time somebody uses this booking page. So for example, if there are specific notes that you are going to go through, or a specific workflow, or a specific set of questions, or maybe a reschedule or cancellation link, whatever you want to put in this description for anybody that uses this booking page, you can put it in there. And there's a bunch of obviously natural custom features here that you can make for bold, italic, underline. You can make this look really fancy and official if you need it to. And then of course, the actual booking form itself, you are going to put in what information you want to collect within the booking form. So for example, there's the first name, last name, email address, phone number. And if I were to add an item, you can custom create an item. Obviously, some of the ones, if I were to have removed them before, they would be on here, but custom item, I can put, maybe I want their address, and I can make that required or not required. They can put it in as if they want to, if it's marked optional, but if it's required, then they will have to put that in order for them to actually proceed with scheduling with you. And then of course you can add that item and come back and edit it if you did something wrong, for example, and that is that. And then you are all finished. Now, the last part here is the booking confirmations and reminders. This is super important. If you want to prevent as many no-shows or as many last-second cancellations as possible, then you are going to want to utilize this. The calendar invitation is naturally going to happen. You can't unmark it. Naturally, when somebody books, they need to know that they booked. They get an invite, it goes on their calendar, and you are all good. Now, the email reminder, this is something that you can create multiple reminders for. So if it's really necessary for them to show up to the meeting, maybe there's some things they need to do in advance before the meeting even starts, you can make this for a day before. You can literally custom do this to a whole week before. I mean, whatever you need to do. And if you want to add multiple reminders as it gets closer to the actual event, you can add reminders as many as you need, maybe 1 day, 1 hour, 15 minutes. And then once you save, you're finished. You have this booking page that now, when you come over here, it says networking in person. All you have to do is copy the link. It'll show it. You click copy, and then you can paste that in an email, in a text, wherever that you need to send it. And then that link lives for them to actually schedule, book, and it shows up on your calendar, on their calendar, in any guest invites that they sent out or that you sent out. And you are literally off to the races. Now, the last thing I want to say about these booking pages is that when you come over here, if you ever do need to delete or edit that calendar, in those 3 little dots right next to the actual name of the booking page that shows up once you hover over it, you click on that and you can preview this to actually, in a way, kind of beta test it. You can go to the sharing options, you can hide from the calendar, and you can actually delete this permanently. So for example, if I go to preview, it is going to pull up the page. It is going to allow me to actually go through this, select a time, see the form that it has me fill out, and so on and so forth. I'm not gonna go through this all right now because I don't necessarily wanna create more stuff to delete after this. But if I wanted to come in and edit it, let's say I needed to change something, the hours, you could click edit, you come right back into this, go through all the steps again, and it is officially edited. You can also, when you click on this, when you go to sharing options, it takes you directly to how you want to share this. So for example, you have the link, you actually have a website embed that you can put this if you have a website and you're specifically wanting this calendar to be on a book a call link or within an email again that you send out, or you want this to live on your website in some kind of way, you just go here and you select what you want to share. If you have multiple booking pages, obviously select all booking pages to show up when they click on the website embed. You can select a single booking page. In this case, we just have the one. And you can actually customize or select or show this button that will pop up as a part of the embed. So for example, instead of book appointment, if you wanted to say book a call, or you could make the button say schedule now, whatever that you want, you are going to put that there, and then you can select the color of the button, depending on obviously the background that it's going to be on. I would make sure that it shows up well. And then from there, you copy the code, put it on your website, bada bing, bada boom, it is finished and ready for you to go. Now, the inline booking page that's down here, I know you see it. This is another thing that if you're, again, tech wizard, come down there. You already know what this means if you understand it and you know where to put it. So that is down there. Again, you just click copy code, put it where it needs to go. And again, you are off to the races. But the easiest way is obviously just clicking link. And you can, again, have the link lead to all your booking pages or a single booking page. Once you copy that link, you paste it wherever you need it to go in an email, a text, a social media post, and then literally, again, you are off to the races. You click done. And then the last thing I want to show you how to do is, again, when you come back over here, you click the plus and you are at it again to add another booking page to whatever that you need it to be. So that is your Google Calendar in a nutshell. There are the ways that you can see your calendar from the weeks, the days, the months, even the year. There are calendars that you can create and customize yourself for different uses, whether they be personal, professional, in your business. You can even subscribe to other calendars based on sports, the moon phases. I mean, all kinds of calendars that are out there, a part of communities that maybe you're a part of or affiliated with, or certifications that you have. There are a ton of subscribed calendars that you can actually join. And then the last and most important thing was the booking calendars that you can use to set up both personal and professional business related booking pages. So that way you don't have to go back and forth through text messages or emails saying, what works for you? What about those days? No, that doesn't work for me. How about we try this instead? And you're literally going back and forth. And if you're like me, most of those meetings never end up happening because people forget about a text or they drop the email cycle and it just doesn't end up working out. And if it does, it was through a ton of headache, stress, and way too much patience required. So use the booking pages to make your life literally 10 times easier, and use this entire video to master your Google Calendar so you can organize everything for your business and your personal life in a way that is way more seamless and streamlined than I'm sure you've been using ever before. So that is step 4 of my goal achievement system, your Google Calendar. I hope you enjoyed and got a ton of value out of that video. Subscribe right now so that way when the next video, my 5th and final step, comes out of my goal achievement system, you get it right away. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.